If you really care about your child's education, I really want to encourage you to reconsider following the K-12 system in America. I think you need to not follow the K-12 system and instead come up with a comprehensive plan for your child's education that meets their specific needs and vision for life. What do I mean by all of this? My name is Amos, Tarfa, Director of LifeSTEM Academy. I've taught math, science, and other courses for years now in America, and I've come to realize that the American education system, the K-12 American education system, is very inefficient, and in many ways it's a waste of time. It just doesn't help children to accomplish their vision in life. So not only does it waste their time, but it actually leaves them at the end of their K-12 education in a very bad spot. I probably in the past, the last few years, I might have said it a little differently, but I think I've got to a point where it's like, no, I can't try to sugarcoat it anymore. I really think the K-12 system in America is so broken, we shouldn't try to rearrange the house to fix it. We need to demolish the structure and allow every family to come up with a plan that helps their child to work well. Here's a few examples. If a child has been talking to you about being a pilot since they were a child, they want to be a pilot. They know they want to be a pilot. My question is, why are you using the current K-12 system for them? Because it's not good for them to use the current K-12 system. Here's why. If you want to be a pilot, you should be dedicating intentional time to a simulator. You should be dedicating intentional time to meeting with pilots, to learn about aviation, to learn physics. Your education needs to be tailored around that, right? And you can always pivot. The big lie that America tells is that, well, if Johnny is restricted in his skills, then what happens if he decides he wants to do something else? Then he should pivot. And in America, that's completely okay. If you were in Nigeria, by 9th grade, you have to commit and you can't pivot. And we committed. A lot of people committed. I committed to medicine. Now, granted, you could argue, why aren't you a doctor today? Good point. I'm still doing the thing I wanted to do, though, which is working with young people. But yes, I'm not a pediatrician today because I found that education was a better way to work with young people. And I thank God for the flexibility America gives. But in Nigeria, you had to commit. Why are people afraid to commit, right? Why are they afraid to commit to specific fields of study? That is something that we really need to address. We need to help our children to have a vision for life. That's what our school does. That's what all the schools that we want to partner with, all the co-ops we want to partner with, that's what we really want to do. We want to inspire every young person to have a vision for life. And they might say, I don't know what it takes to have a vision for life. So we talk about it. We tell them stories. We tell them stories of people like Andrew Wiles, who found a math problem he wanted to solve, and he made the way possible. He got his PhD, he solved this problem called Fermat's last theorem. He was about 9 or 10 years old when he got that piece of math he wanted to solve. So we can help people right from 6th grade to have direction, to have vision. That's what I want to encourage families to do. Please don't go with the conveyor belt method where everybody's on this conveyor belt taking the same set of courses, heading to some destination that is not defined, no vision. The biggest problem, I think, with American education is there's no vision. There's no direction expected from children. Somehow we think that we're hurting them or we're not doing the best for them when we encourage them to have vision. Why aren't people spending deliberate time praying, thinking, writing, meeting with people, to answer the question, why do you exist? Vision is important because when you have vision, it actually helps you to live better. It helps you to live well because you know you're going somewhere. Let's use an example. Parents, you have times where you've told your children, if you want to get this vacation or if you want to get this birthday celebration, you have to do your homework. You have to do something, right? So you tell them there's an expectation, and now the child knows if I don't do this and that, I don't get to have the gift I want to have. Here's a problem with our education system. The children don't have any expectation for the most part, and a lot of them are just wandering around in the wilderness. So then why do you think we have behavioral problems in middle school at a very high level, right? Many middle school teachers will tell you that they have behavioral problems, and I think part of it is because there's no vision. What is expected in vision terms for a 6th grader in America? It's really sad to watch how we just allow children to wander rather than directing them and guiding them to have a vision for life. Let's talk about what this could look like. In the K-5 space, we really need to be solidifying the foundation. Think about the K-5 space as an opportunity to build, right? So you need a solid foundation, and the K-5 space should give you that foundation. Kids should be learning to read. They should be writing some things doing some writing. You should be reading. They should be working on learning a lot about science and social studies and history and government. They just are learning a lot. They're like sponges, just taking all that in. In K-5, that's what we need to keep doing. We also should do very good math programs that teach them about number sense, math programs that teach them how to navigate different concepts in mathematics. Maybe tell them some stories in the history of math. Tell them some stories in the history of science. That's a great time to build all of that, right? Help them to understand also that their identity should not be grounded in their education, but that they've been created for a purpose. There's a lot more I can share about the K-5 in a different video, but today I want to focus on the 612 and what that could look like. So the K-5 is still K-5. Kids need to learn, and they need to learn how to learn, and they need to learn the importance of education. That needs to happen in K-5. They should also be working on their relationships and communication skills with other people, with their peers. They should be building on those skills that are not necessarily graded in traditional grading sequences of math and English. They should learn how to talk to other people, learn to be respectful, learn to serve, learn to invest their lives and their time in just being who God made them to be, in being obedient children who are respectful and are doing their best in the things they're learning. Okay, that's K-5. So now we come to 6th grade. Okay, so now in the K-5 at Lifestem Academy, we use books like IEW, we use books like Nordgrass. That's what we use for K-5. Now, if you don't know what these are, that's fine. You could Google them and see it. But IEW is Institute for Excellence in Writing. Nordgrass is a social studies curriculum, which is connected to English. Math, you can use things like Singapore Math. You can use things like Math Mammoth. And then when the kids get into 4th grade, they can actually get into my math program called Inspirational Mathematics. The name of the overall program is Counting to Calculus. I help every child get to calculus at the pace that works best for them. Ideally, I want them in calculus by 9th grade, but some kids need time, and that's okay. But every child should be given a chance to do calculus. That's the way we structure our math. So for math, you know that the kids are going from counting to calculus. Everybody does calculus at some point, okay? So that's math. For science, we use J. Wiles. Science in the beginning, science in the ancient world, science in the age of reason, science in the scientific revolution, science in the industrial revolution. So we have a series here from Berean builders. So it's called Berean builders. If you think of the Bereans, they are discussed in the book of Acts in the Bible. But the Bereans were very diligent in studying the Bible. So Berean builders will guide our students all the way through elementary science, middle school science, as well as high school and college science. That's what happens with Berean builders. Social studies, we're using Nordgrass. As I said, it's connected to the English curriculum as well. We use BJU, which is a Bob Jones curriculum, an alternative to to the Nordgrass books. Some people use Veritas Press. Some people use Sunlight. That's okay. My big emphasis today will probably be more in the science and the math arena. Okay, so let's quickly recap. From K-5, students are building their foundation using curriculums like this. They can do other electives like art and music and things like that. That's completely fine. I'm going to remove this and then we'll talk about 612. So let's talk about 612. I believe that to solve America's education problem, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we need to rethink what we're doing in that realm. Here's what I mean. Many people can get D's and F's in 6th, 7th grade, and they still are promoted, social promotion. We really have to make 6th and 7th grade count. And how do we do that? The way we do that is we expect more from 6th and 7th graders. Like, we need to expect more. Now, I grew up in Nigeria. We expect way more. Like, we expect more of our 7th graders in Nigeria than Americans expect for their 12th graders. Like, this is very sad, but that's the way it is. In 7th grade in Nigeria, you take 17 subjects, with 17 teachers, 17 notebooks that have to be up to date, and no parental influence if you're a boarding school student. So you're literally responsible for 17 subjects, keeping track of everything due for all 17 of them. And we were doing just fine. That was normal for us. Here in America, I've noticed that sometimes you expect just for 4 subjects, and you expect something from just 4 subjects, and some kids are still like, what am I supposed to do? When is it due? Like, these are basic things they can do. Give them the tools, guide them along the way, give them ways to take good notes. In Nigeria, note taking is not optional. Everybody has notes for every subject, period. In America, it's optional, but it's not working out. It's really not working out when you have so many kids who are still behind in math, still behind in other courses. Maybe we should teach them how to use note-taking and study skills, because that will help. We learned that a lot back home in Nigeria. Unfortunately, here we don't do that as much. So, okay, let's get back on track and I'll land the plane. So, what I'm proposing is K-5 is a solid elementary education program. 6th, 7th grade is enough time for any middle school stuff that you want to do. That's way more than enough time. And your high school actually happens in 8th and 9th grade, okay? So that means that college is 10, 11, 12. That's part of my proposal in this plan to solve America's education problem. This really just needs to be college courses. And or if you want to go to trade school, you should be spending more of your time here in the trades. Like, you should be getting hands-on experience in the thing you want to do, rather than this current model we have, this conveyor belt, one size fits all, which I personally believe is no longer relevant because education tools are available. We have videos and courses and tools there. We just need people to guide these students and coach them along the way. Okay, so let's go back here. So we have English, we're doing IEW and Nordgrass, those kinds of courses. We're doing college composition and depending on people's ability. But this middle school years, you still do your English, you still do your different courses. But if a student is ready for algebra, for example, they should do that in middle school. I think that's just fine. So anyways, do your middle school years, that's great. Now let's talk about 8th to 12th grade. So when you get to 8th grade here, I really think you should be looking at more like a serious writing course. Which you should have been doing some of that before, but now you're getting into some college material. You should be looking at college comp over here, or a form of college comp again, too. So you have 2 years at least of college comp. You have American literature, and you have British literature. Here's the cool thing. You can get college credit for a lot of these right here. So right here, you're graduating and you're getting about 12 college credits. That should be like your goal when you go through our program. So get about 12 college credits with the English. How about math? You should complete your Algebra 1 before 8th grade, and then Algebra 2 in 8th grade, but that comes with a CLEP test, which you can take. So you take the Algebra 2 and you have the CLEP test there. And then you move into geometry and trig, and this comes with a CLEP test as well, pre-calc CLEP, and then you take a calculus CLEP. And then you can do Calc 2, Calc 3, linear algebra, and differential equations. Okay, this is for those who want to go to college, but by using this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have yourself about 21 credits. So you have 12 credits from English, 21 credits from math. You go to science, you should really work towards getting your biology, chemistry, physics, earth science, and depending on what field of study, maybe anatomy. Okay, so we have these science courses, which will give you about, you can get up to about 6 science credits with the biology and the chemistry. You could choose to do physics, AP, if you want. And then for social studies, we should complete our world history, American history, government, and econ. This should happen during the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. Somewhere in this range, you complete all of those, and you could get yourself Western civilizations credit, American history credit, government, and econ, and get yourself about 12 credits. Okay, next for electives. Notice that from 6th grade to 12th grade, everybody should really consider taking career preparation. Every year from 6th grade, you should be exploring your personality and career type and how that fits all together. I've done videos on this. I'll do more later, but we should be doing career prep every year until the child knows for a fact what they want to do for their first attempt at a career direction. They can always pivot, right? But they should be spending time with job shadowing, opportunities, interviews, and things like that. So that's what's happening with career prep. We do that from 6th to 12th grade for all our students. That's the way America needs to do it. We need to get people doing career prep. Okay, so that's career prep. Keep doing that every year. Electives, we should do a foreign language. Try to master another language other than English. That will be very good for you if you do that. So you could do French, you could do Spanish, whatever you want to do there. And that could give you another 3 credits of foreign languages, which will be helpful. Let's add up how many credits we have so far. We have 15, 21, 42, and then 42 plus 12, we have 54. So we have about 54 credits right now that you can get just from completing your English, math, science, social studies, as well as a foreign language. That's 54 credits. Can you imagine? You're already done with your freshman year of college, basically almost done with your sophomore year of college, and haven't even talked about electives yet. Do you see why the K-12 system is just not necessary? You can get 2 years of your college concluded within the K-12 time span. So let's talk about some electives. We have electives like psychology. We have electives like sociology. Okay? So those two there give us 6 credits. You've just completed your freshman and sophomore year of college while you're still in the K-12 space. And you did it while you still had a life, maybe have some friends, you're growing in relationships and so on and so forth. So when you graduate in the K-12 system, quote unquote, you should only have your junior and senior year left if you want to go to college, right? But if you don't want to go to college, at that point, it's really up to you now if you want to get your trades, hopefully your trade school training is happening in the process. All of this was to show you all what is possible if we solidify the K-5 space and then we use the 6th to 12th grade space to actually help people learn. Like we can actually see progress if we have vision and help people to learn and to learn well. Right now, unfortunately, American education is just wasting people's time, and many times people are just playing games. If you don't want to play games and you want to actually learn well, then I encourage you to join the movement, the LifeSTEM movement, which is aimed at giving every child, inspiring every child to have a vision for life, and then pursuing that vision with laser intensity to become who God made them to be. That's what we're about. We don't want to waste any time. We want to help every child to flourish with the gifts they've been given. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to making more videos. Some of these claims might be intense at first, but I promise you that if you follow a plan with a vision, you'll get there quicker and you'll be a blessing to others much more quickly with less busy work. Take care and God bless.